students, welcome back. So we were discussing about the extraction of metals and how to extract a particular metal on the basis of its reactivity by applying different processes. And we have seen three important processes, that is concentration of ore, then its reduction of metal from its ore, and then finally is the refining. So we have discussed with those two categories, metals of moderately reactive and metals of least reactive. So let's see metals of high reactivity. They will be obtained directly by electrolysis process. Okay, from electrolysis process we will get the pure metal. So let's see what is this electrolysis process. This is also known as refining of metals, which is the last step in all other categories. This is the last step, refining. So what is refining? Let's see. It is the process of obtaining, as to refine something, like refined sugar is there. It means it is the more pure form, purest form of the sugar, refined sugar. It is a process of obtaining pure metal from the crude metal, that is the impure one. Fine. Now let's see what is this electrolysis process or refining process. So we can refine the metal, not all, but a few metals with the help of electrolysis process. Let's see the process. So as electrolysis, it is breakdown of compound with the help of electricity. Electricity, as it consists of two words, electro and lysis. Lysis means breakdown and electro means electricity. So that's why breakdown of a compound with the help of electricity. So let's see the complete process. So in electrolysis process, so many things are required. So what are those things? Let's see. First of all, the tank in which the electrolysis takes place. This is known as electrolytic tank. Okay. So in which we will take two electrodes of the metal, which has to be purified, which has to be extracted. So let's say we will take the example of electrolysis process. Example, say copper. Okay. So we have taken two rods. These rods are known as electrodes. Okay, this is known as electrodes, and we'll connect it with the help of battery. Okay, this is a positive terminal, this is a negative terminal. So the rod which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery is known as cathode. This is positive. And the rod which is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, this is a key. Negative terminal of the battery is known as anode. Okay, and both the electrodes, they are dipped in the electrolytic solution, that is acidified solution. So this is acidified solution of copper sulfate. Okay, which is known as electrolytic solution. Electrolytic solution. And the rods, they are made up of copper. Okay, copper will take the copper, pure copper at cathode. Okay, this is made up of pure copper at cathode, and at anode impure copper, which has to be made pure. Now what will happen in the electrolysis process? So this is the whole scenario of the electrolysis process, that the tank or the vessel in which it is carried out is known as electrolytic tank. then electrolyte is required, that is the acidified solution of copper sulfate. But you have to take that electrolyte only with which the metal is made up of. So we are taking the anode, this electrode of metal, that is copper. So copper only need to be purified. Okay, it has to be made pure from the impure one. So impure we have taken on the anode so that it becomes pure, and cathode, on cathode we have taken the pure copper. Now let's see what will happen. Now what will happen here, as the reaction proceeds, as we are passing the electricity, then what will happen? From copper sulfate, it gets dissociated to copper 2 positive and SO4 2 minus. Now from the pure copper cathode, copper gets converted into Cu2 positive ion, and it moves towards the impure copper. First it will go in solution and then move towards the, from the solution it will move towards the pure copper. This is the, we need to purify it, so it's so from the anode, because this is impure, so from the anode, this is copper, it gets converted into Cu2 positive, which will go into solution, and from solution again Cu2 positive will go at the cathode, and which gets deposited in the form of copper. Okay, and this will happen with the help of electrons. As we know that oxidation and reduction process we have studied in terms of oxygen and that gain of oxygen or lose of hydrogen. So accordingly here process will take place. So at anode oxidation process will take place, and cathode reduction process will take place. So we'll see how. Fine. So accordingly the process will take place. So what is happening basically, this you have to only remember, that from the impure and from the anode, impure copper is getting converted into Cu2 positive ion. Oxidation is taking place. Fine. It is changing its state. Then this will go into solution. In solution also Cu2 positive ions are there. Then finally this Cu2 positive ions, they will gets converted back to the copper. They get deposited at the pure copper. So this is happening. Now the impure copper gets converted into the pure copper, and whatever the impurities will be there, then those impurities, soluble impurities, will go into solution, and the rest of the insoluble impurity will gets collected here at the anode. This is known as anode mud. Anode mud. Okay, these are the insoluble impurities. So this is all about electrolysis. Now let's see few points regarding this. So in this way copper is refined or gets purified from the impure one. So at anode, cathode, anode, what is happening? Copper, that is the impure copper is converted into Cu2 positive ion and 2 electrons. Fine. This is impure one. Fine. Then this will go into solution. Fine. Then at cathode, this from the solution again will react with and will give you the copper. Now this is the pure one. So this pure copper gets deposited at cathode. And what about the impurities? Two types of impurities are there. One is the soluble one, because what is the process of refining? That we have to remove the impurities, and insoluble one. So two types are there. Soluble one, they go into solution because they are in the soluble form, and insoluble one, they deposited near the anode, as anode mud. All of you know what is mud, that is clay. Fine. So this is about the whole process. And what are the other things that we have observed? That what is the anode, what is the cathode? So let's see. That also we know that anode is made up of impure copper, and cathode we have taken it's of pure copper. So let's see again. And what is the solution? Electrolyte here, electrolytic solution. So this is all about the electrolysis. Again I am writing. Anode is, and what is the cathode? That are the reactions which you have seen. Then electrolyte or electrolytic solution. So this is impure copper. This is pure copper. This is acidified. Acidified means containing acid. Acidified copper sulfate solution is the electrolyte here. That's what is breaking down. Electrolytes are those compounds which gets breakdown in the presence of electricity. So this is all about the refining process. Other metals also, like we have seen in the metals of moderate reactivity, the last process is refining. So it will be refined by this process only, refined process. That is electrolysis. And same in the case of sulfide ores, that with the least reactive metals, again it is refined by the same process. Now let's see the next topic of this chapter, that is corrosion. Corrosion. So what is corrosion? This you know from your previous class in the form of rusting. Okay. So as we know that in the atmosphere, the metal is coming in contact with the atmosphere, that so many things are present, like water vapors are there, oxygen is there, carbon dioxide is there. So these metals, they are reacting with all these substances, and it can lead to the formation of other compounds like carbonates, sulfides, sulfates, etc. So in that way you can say the surface of the metal is being reacted and being corroded. So let's see what is corrosion. This is the process of slowly eating away of the metal surface by the substances like O2, CO2, etc., which results in the formation of number of compounds known as number of compounds like oxides, sulfides, carbonates, etc. Fine. So this is the corrosion process, that basically metal surface is being corroded. Example, most common that you know, rusting of iron. Then tarnishing of silver. Then coating of green colored substance on copper. All these examples are the examples of corrosion. Green colored substance on copper surface. So these are the few examples, and other examples are also there, etc. Fine. So now we have to see, so basically what is required for the corrosion, that the moisture has to be there, oxygen. Then only if it will not comes in contact with these substances, if we remove the contact of these substances, then corrosion will not take place. Fine. So let's see what are the factors, methods of preventing corrosion. Methods to prevent corrosion. First is oiling, second greasing, third painting objects, greasing of objects or tools, oiling of objects. So it is related to different parts. Next is electroplating. Okay, then fifth one is galvanization. Galvanization is what? And what is electroplating here? That is coating of more reactive metal on the surface of less reactive metal like nickel, chromium, etc. So this is electroplating, and with the help of electricity. Let's write the fifth one later on. Okay, and this takes place in the presence of electricity. So this is electroplating, coating of more reactive metal on the surface of the less reactive metal. So in this way, the less reactive metal will not get corroded. Okay, as we are coating it. So more reactive will react, so less reactive will be, you can say it will be prevented. Next is galvanization. Galvanization. So this is the, you can say in this process, zinc is coated on the iron, on the surface of the iron objects. Surface of the iron objects. So here, iron will not get corroded, but zinc, you can say it may react with the atmosphere. So iron will be protected. So this is galvanization, as Z is coming, so you can remember from here that zinc is used. And sixth is alloying. Now what is alloying here? Before that we see what are alloys. So let's learn about the alloys. Alloys. Alloys are nothing, they are just these are the mixture of a metal with the other metal, or a metal with the non-metal. So this is alloy. Now why alloys are made? They are made to improve the physical properties of metals. Like, let's see what are the properties that can be prevented. So what are the properties here? Like you can say its resistivity, conductivity, tensile strength, etc. Okay, let's see the examples. Like brass is there. It's an alloy of copper and zinc. All of you know what is brass. In the previous ancient times, the utensils they were made up of brass. That is a mixture of copper and zinc. Bronze. Coins are made up of bronze. That is copper plus tin. This is tin. Fine. Let's see the other one. Other examples are also there. Amalgam. Here one metal is mercury. Other can be anything like sodium amalgam, etc. So amalgam is the ore of mercury. Sorry, alloy of mercury you can say. Alloy of mercury. Then stainless steel is there. Mixture of iron plus nickel plus chromium, then carbon. So that's why stainless steel is better. Okay, so all these are the examples of alloys. So what is alloying? Alloying is the process of making alloys, or the mixing of metal with another metal, or metal with a non-metal, so that the properties of the metals can be improved. So this is the alloying. So alloying can also be done to prevent the corrosion. So you can say that alloying can be done to prevent corrosion. Fine. So these are the few steps to prevent the rusting or corrosion. Now let's see one more thing about rusting. Rust is formed, which is a formula is that is hydrated ferric oxide. Okay, and it's brown colored substance, brown flaky substance known as rust. Now we'll see the last part of this chapter. That one thing is left, that we have seen that the inert metals, they do not react at all. Fine, like gold, if we want to dissolve gold, it will never dissolve in the materials like water and other solvent, but it gets dissolved in one of the particular, you can say, solvent or the compound. So let's see, aqua regia. What is aqua regia? It is a mixture of 3:1 Conc HCl and Conc HNO3. So this mixture is known as aqua regia, used to dissolve gold. So gold can be dissolved in this particular solution, that is aqua regia. Okay, let's see. What are the other properties of this? Basically, it's a fumic. It's a very fumic and highly corrosive liquid. Okay, it's a fumic and highly corrosive, very strong, highly corrosive liquid. So if the gold is getting dissolved, it means its weight will be reduced. Weight gets reduced. That's why weight of the gold is getting reduced, because it is getting dissolved in the aqua regia, which is very strong. See, the Conc HCl and Conc HNO3 are getting used in the ratio of 3:1. It means 3 parts of this and 1 part of this. Like for example, if we say total is 100 ml, fine, then 75 part of Conc HCl. This is the meaning of this. And 25 part of Conc HNO3. So third 3 part of this, 1 part of this. So 75 part ml of this and 25 ml of HNO3. So that's, this is very corrosive and very harmful. If we like, sometimes if it suppose it get poured on anyone, then we can say the skin and all, everything will get burned. Fine. So this is all about this chapter, metals and non-metals. We have seen we have covered all the topics. So this was the last thing. Fine. So I think it's clear to everyone. Okay. So we'll see next time. We'll come with the new chapter. So till then, thank you and have a nice day.